Welcome back, America. We have with us our friend General Jack Keane, retired four-star Army general, and obviously Fox News senior strategic analyst. And we're going to spend the entire hour with Jack because I think it's absolutely worth it. And, of course, we're going to focus on Iran here, General. Three things, it seems to me, are our objectives. Maybe two. One of them's my objectives, wherever it's worth. That is to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. That is to make sure they never have a nuclear weapon. And then the third point that we've discussed before, defeat the regime. Because my attitude is we're not going to be able to contain this regime forever, certainly after the president leaves, and certainly if the Democrats come into power, and certainly if some of these Republicans come into power. I just don't see it, and I don't see the American people willing to keep a cap on that regime for 10, 20, 30 years. So how do you see all this and all the objectives?
Well, I agree with all of that. I think what's happened here, we went to a ceasefire on April the 7th, began negotiations almost immediately on April the 8th with the Iranians. And the reason for that was because they shut down the Straits of Hormuz. We started the operation February 28th. They shut the Straits down on March the 2nd. And after living with that for a month, prices started to move up the spiral. For certainly, there's huge economic and political implications of all of it. The president and his team felt the Iranians were sincere about willingness to negotiate, and we began a series of negotiations that lasted over 90 days. And even came up with a signed agreement referred to as the Memorandum of Understanding, which had only one agreement in it. Everything else was a promise for the future after 60 or so days of negotiation. The one agreement was Iran would open up the Straits of Hormuz and remove all their interference and restrictions. The United States would remove its blockade. We removed the blockade. Several days later, the Iranians began to interfere with the Straits of Hormuz, literally after their president had signed it and after ours had signed it. And we have said on this show multiple times, you cannot trust the Iranians. They will lie and cheat. And even if they make a deal, you and I came to the same conclusion, they will not comply with it. And look what happened. They signed a deal and they didn't comply with it. So what is happening now? Iran put us on this pathway because we have a president who's dead serious. He was willing to give diplomatic effort, as much rope as possible could be given here, and it did not work. They are not people who are going through some kind of behavioral change and are reasonable. Their diplomatic effort through multiple decades has always been a narrative of appearing reasonable and willing to work and coexist with the United States. That has been going on with their diplomatic effort for years. And their leadership has always been defiant, arrogant. We are going to continue to pursue our objectives to gain control of the Middle East and gain control of the Gulf, distribution of oil, destroy the state of Israel, and drive the United States out. That has been their objectives for 47 plus years. Diplomatic team reasonable, creating a false narrative to gain concessions. Regime leaders who they work for, hardcore, defiant, and never going to make any concessions that are reasonable at all. So here we are. Yes, we're going to open up the Straits of Hormuz. That's job one. And we're going to do it forcibly because the Iranians are obviously resisting to that. And much of what we've been seeing here is all about that, in removing their ability to interfere and also reducing their ability to retaliate against U.S. bases as well as our allies in the Gulf. And then an expanded military campaign that is likely ongoing right now to take down other targets, all contributing to the regime and its sustaining capability, both logistically, economically, and militarily. We are in a different place than where we were a few weeks ago. And the Iranians have brought this on themselves. And the President of the United States had said from the beginning, he is dead serious about making certain they do not have a nuclear weapon or anything close to it. And number two, he wants restrictions on ballistic missiles, and he doesn't want support for proxies.
I think that's an outstanding summation. Now, General, when we come back, I want to break down what you said in little pieces and pursue this further.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.